Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. Today we'll be talking about the composition. So the first and the foremost thing that is required for a composition is a sentence. So here we have a little sentence which says, if there's love in your heart, it will guide you through your life. Love has its own intelligence. We have the sentence now. The next thing to take care of is the number of lines into which this particular sentence should be arranged. This is a completely hit and trial method, like we'll be dividing the words and putting them into different number of lines. Say for example, in this case I had tried to arrange this particular sentence into 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 lines. Okay, actually there's no such definite rule about it, and depending upon our perception, like what should look good, we'll have to decide the number of lines into which we'll be adjusting that sentence into. So looking at the letters arranged this way, one can definitely say like, okay, this is not making up for a good composition. That means I'll have to arrange the letters in some different way. So after I did this one, I made a different composition. This was like this one. When I arranged the letters this way, this composition looked far better than the previous one, but this composition has got its own flaws. Say for example, what happened here is, this is the lower limb of letter H, and this coincides with the letter E. This one gets to know only by a number of trials, like which letter should be given a more descending height, or where there is a possibility of giving a more ascending height to the letters. Y is the first letter of this particular line, and we don't have anything above or below it, so we have that kind of freedom to extend the first stroke of the letter Y as this way. It is completely dependent upon what letters we have above or below, so that we can magnify a particular letter or decrease its size. So what modification we have to do for this particular composition is, we have to shift this particular line onto its left, a bit of left, so that this E does not coincide with this lower limb of the letter H. One more thing, this kind of lettering is fine, but to add a more of depth to the piece, I thought like I could add something in the background. So what I tried was, I tried to draw a particular letter in the background, and I did this with a Copic marker, but you can see here the contrast between the background and the main letters did not come out well. So I thought like something has to be done in such a way that there is a good contrast between the background and the main letters. So for the trial basis, I thought like if we could draw this letter I with the poster color, this would possibly make a good backdrop. So I gave it a try, and things came out to be like this thing. Okay, now before this, let me explain you one more thing. Here particularly I have chosen the letter I. Now let me explain you why did I choose the letter I. Now we can choose, we have some options, like we can use the letter H because the theme of the sentence is something that relates to the heart, or we can choose the letter L which describes the love, or simply I have chosen the letter I here because our sentence begins with the letter I. Once we have chosen the letter for the background, now the question is how big the letter should be. Say for example, in this particular piece I have taken the length of the letter to be quite large, and then I did this piece, and if we compare these two pieces, I have taken the background letter in this latter piece to be comparatively shorter, and this looks better, and this we can get to know only by doing a definite number of trials. So keeping these things in mind, let us begin with the composition. So for the background we will be using this premium range poster color, and then we will be adding the water to make the solution. This is a 37 mm flat brush which we will be using for creating the background, and as discussed, the letter that will be drawing is the letter I. Taking the ink onto the brush and removing any extra ink by swiping it along the edges of the palette, Here we begin. And now let us begin with the sentence. Since we are going to use Pilot parallel pen 6.0 mm, so the main end spacing would be 3 centimeters. So let us draw it now. And we'll be leaving a gap of 2 millimeters for the next line to begin. There might be some problem in moving the pen over the poster color. So one thing to take care of is when you are creating the background, no, so the ink that you have prepared, the density of that ink should be low. Otherwise, too much thickness of the background poster color will hamper the movement of the pen. are drawing the main line spacing for the next line, and as usual we will be leaving a space of 2 mm for the succeeding line. As we have done a few experiments before, we know that there won't be anything coming below the letter H. So now we'll be descending the limb of the letter H downwards. as we can see here, the letter E does not run into the lower limb of the letter H. To add more dimensions to the piece, let us make use of the spattering. I found this technique of spattering to be cool, and this gives really nice round spatter. We'll continue on adding a bit of more spatter. Now that we are done with adding this black spatter, we'll go for adding this green spatter, and the technique involved will be a bit different one. For the green spatter, we'll be mixing a small amount of poster color and then making a thin liquid out of it. We are going to use this toothbrush. We'll be dipping the toothbrush into the ink, and with the help of the fingers, we'll be giving the spatter effect like this. See how fine spatter is achieved using this method, and this is in good contrast with the spatter that we had achieved earlier. That is enough of spattering, and now we are on the verge of completion of our composition. Allow me to sign this piece. So this is the final outcome. Hope you liked the video, and don't forget to let me know in the comment section like which part of the video did you like and what are the areas that I needed to focus more, and we'll catch up with the next video very soon. Till then, bye bye.